And here we are at the Philadelphia Expo Outdoor Show for 2011. I'm Bob Murray from Delaware Valley Outdoors, and we're live streaming out to the internet and then up on YouTube. And I always have a good time when I'm out at the shows because I run into some of my best friends, some fishing buddies, and I have one of my good friends, Kevin from the Delaware River Shad Association.
Right.
And you're going to clear up a couple of things because we just talked before we got on here, and you're going to help me with this stuff. But let's give it a little bit about the Delaware.
Okay, let me talk
Shad.
just a little bit about the club. Of
Yeah,
course, we're the
please.
Delaware River Shad Fishermen's Association. We're based in Hellertown, Pennsylvania. We have members all over. I live in Northeast Philly, so I've been fishing for shad over 20 years. Been a member of the club since then. Last year was real good. Basically, I'll tell you a little bit about the organization. We're basically there. Our objective is to protect the Delaware River shad, enhance the shad population, and also keep the river free-flowing and clean. A lot of impact probably forthcoming with the Marcellus Shale that's going on. We're trying to be vocal with that against it. We're totally against it, just because the impact that it could possibly have on the water table and whatnot. Mm-hmm. We have a new website. It's www.drsfa.org. A lot of good information on there. The Shad Hotline's on there. You can log in, put your fishing reports in there. You'll see pictures and information how to get into, be a member of the club and whatnot.
And I've dealt with the river fishermen for I don't know how many years with the shad and stuff like that, and they were instrumental in getting the river cleaned up, going back way back.
That's how the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission basically got started back in the 1800s. Was the restoration of the shad.
Yeah, and it's unbelievable. The shad population fluctuates, obviously, like it's cyclical, just like anything else. Now, I talked to you, and you had a wonderful season last year.
Excellent
And
season.
I've talked to other people, and they weren't catching many fish. I don't know if it was just a bad day or what, but just a little bit about how you were fishing last year.
Yeah, basically from I usually start around the end of March. Mm-hmm. Water temperature's got to be around 50 degrees for the shad to hit. Mm-hmm. They'll come up closed mouth otherwise. I fish mostly flutter spoons on a flat line. I'm fishing out of a boat, 6-pound test, medium weight rod. Basically, if there's 2 guys in the boat, you can fish 4 rods. 2 rods out the side, 2 rods out the back. If I'm fishing in deeper water, when I say deeper, maybe 12 to 14 feet, some of the deeper holes, I'll downrig. And that's basically no weight at all, about 6 foot out the back with the downrigger ball, about 1.5 foot off the bottom, and then you'll adjust it. But for the most part, it's just a few split shot and a flutter spoon. And orange and black is probably the best color that I had the most success with.
Well, we've done this for years ago. It was a chartreuse with a red dot, and
exactly.
It was whatever somebody came up with, whatever you feel comfortable with.
Exactly, and that color does change. Chartreuse and green is also a big popular color. Some of the old timers are still using the shad darts.
Right.
There's also the double rig where you can fish a flutter spoon on the bottom with a swivel and then fish the shad dart down off the top of it. And with that, you can sometimes the shad are really running heavy. You can land 2 shad at one time.
And one of the things that I've always talked to people about when you go shad fishing, you better have a good anchor.
Oh, exactly. You got to have a grappling hook. You got to have some weight to it. You're going to use 7 foot of anchor line for every foot of water that you're going to be in.
Say that one more time, because I've seen enough boats bouncing down the river and getting in trouble.
I've seen boats, they've anchored off the. No, one thing you never ever want to do is anchor off the back of your boat. No. Never, ever, ever. I've seen boats coming down backwards with water in them. I've seen guys run over anchor lines. The one thing you want to always do: start your motor first. If you're first going to go out and you're going to anchor up, and have a buddy with you to help, put that anchor out there. And you want that grappling hook that's got some weight. My anchor probably weighs about 20 pounds.
Right.
And I am fishing you're fishing right on the channel edges. You're fishing off those deep pools. And in the springtime, the water's going to be high. It's going to be cold. You're going to wear your life jacket. It's going to be fast. There's always that chance you're going to fall in. Make sure you have your life jacket on.
Yeah, especially at that time of the year.
Exactly.
And one of the things that I know, because you're a shad fisherman, so you know stuff. But when they go out, make sure you don't have a dip net. Get a big net.
Oh yeah,
with a long handle.
You need a net with a long handle. They're basically going to run every which way. They use the current to their advantage. When they come upriver, they don't come straight up. It's not like you're just hauling it in. You're going to basically take your time. They have very soft mouths. Very similar to a crappie mouth. If you get it in the bony part of the structure, either in the top or in the bottom, they basically hook themselves. You don't really have to set the hook at whatever. They basically hit it in the rod holder, and that rod just bends in half, and they peel offline.
Now, length of the rod that you're using. Some guys are using the big long noodle rods.
Exactly.
I started out with a 7-foot rod, which
Yeah.
was big in those days.
Exactly.
And it was a real light Fenwick that I had.
Right.
And boy, I did great with that because other guys were coming out with these short like bass rods and going,
Right.
guys.
Yeah, exactly. I like a 6.5 foot, a medium action rod. Graphite. You don't have to spend a whole lot. And as far as pound test, I always like 6 pound. I like the green. The Berkeley. I'm not pushing a product, but I like the Berkeley, XL and the green, the limp line, something like that. You're basically going to use a swivel, about a 2-foot leader, and you're going to put your weight above the swivel. Some guys use the chain, inline chain type swivels, keel weights. I use basically split shot, number 2s, number 3s, and you're going to adjust that based on your flow. If you're fishing heavy water, when I say heavy water, 7-8 foot, and the river's flowing pretty heavy, and you're on the edge of that channel, you may need 3 or 4 of those number 2 or 3 split shots.
Right.
As the river drops down, you're dropped down off your weight, and you're basically going to cast quarter right back off the back of the boat. Let it just basically dead stick in the back of the current, and all that spoon does is go back and forth in the current.
Right, and they just
come up and smack it.
Yeah, and then hang on because the first time you catch a shad, you're amazed how strong.
Oh, they're strong. It's like catching a bluefish in the ocean. That's how hard they pull.
Yeah.
They just put a bend in that rod. I always look forward to every spring. I said, I got the cramp back in the forearm again, and I know I've got the shad back on, or I'm in a heavy run of fish.
Yeah. Now, some of the areas that you favor for shad.
For shad, you're basically going to fish from Trenton north. The early runners will start down around Trenton, the power plant, the warm water discharge. They'll catch them there maybe mid to late March. I like the Yardley area. The river does change with all the high floods that we've had, so the channel does move somewhat. Anywhere from Yardley all the way up, I fished all the way up to the Water Gap in that area and followed them up. But they do travel all the way up into the east and west branch.
Right.
And as you get later in the season, guys will fly fish for them.
Right. And I've fished Sands Eddy and stuff like that in June.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm catching nice shad. And I said to my buddy, why was I out fishing freezing in March when I'm sitting in shorts and a T-shirt catching shad? But you can follow him up.
I can think of a specific trip that I went out a couple years ago. I took my brother-in-law and I said, look, it's going to be hot in the afternoon. We packed shorts. Did you pack shorts? No, I'll be fine. He's got long pants on. And they were like heavy carpenter jeans. So, 1 o'clock comes around and it's 90 degrees. And he's like, let me have that knife. I said, what do you want the knife for? Just let me borrow the knife. He takes the knife and he cuts his pants off to make him a pair of shorts. He was dying. It was so hot.
Yeah. So, but I guess it's sort of like the cabin fever thing, though. When you want to get out, that's
exactly.
the beginning.
Yeah, that's the very beginning. And then, like I said, as you get into like probably mid-April, they're mostly in the Bucks County section. From Yardley on up, that's where maybe the bulk of the run. They travel anywhere from 8 to 10 miles a day.
Yeah, and at nighttime they just kind of hang
out.
No,
they pretty much hang out and wait in the pool. So when you go early morning, there's an early morning bite, and then there's an afternoon bite for the most part. You will catch a midday here and then, but they do tend to pool up and rest in the pools at night.
Right.
It's not like you can go out and fish from them at night like you're catfishing or whatever.
Right.
They have to fish at first light.
And, that's the whole thing. See that first light thing. And, again, a lot of guys go to work, but then as soon as they get out of work at night, boy, they're out there. And
head out there in the afternoon.
Especially that time period, you still get a lot of daylight in the evening to get out there.
And the one thing that was good this year too is we had a great spawn. There was no real heavy flood conditions, after the shad spawn. So late August, early September, we saw huge pods
coming down
of the fry coming down, and the smallmouth just loved them. They bust all over them.
Right.
But that bodes good for the next 3 to 4 years because, of course, it's a cyclical thing. Every 3 to 4 years they come back to spawn. You get the bucks that come up first.
Right.
Average 3 to 4 pounds, and then your rows follow up after them, average 4 to 6 pounds.
Yeah, I tell you what, you get a 6 pound
row on,
you definitely know you got a fish on there.
Yep.
Well, just give us another shot at the website.
Okay, the
again.
website again for the Delaware River Shad Fishermen's Association is www.drsfa.org.
And again, if you have any more questions, you can go to our website. We'll have it up there. Again, we're live streaming it, but if you want to hear this interview again, you can go to YouTube later on this afternoon or this evening and pick that all up. Kevin, I want to thank you a whole lot.
Thanks again.
I'll probably see you on the water, trust
Definitely.
me.
I'll see you on the river.
Hey, I'm Bob Murray. Come out here. You'll talk to Kevin. You can talk to a whole bunch of people. You'll tons of information. There's guides, there's tackle.
Lots of bargains to be had, guys.
Yeah,
I bought a rod myself, so.
I'm jonesing to get to some spinner baits, I'll tell you that much. But anyway, come out to the show. We're still here Saturday and Sunday. And the fact that we are giving an award away. It's called the Best of Show. It's sponsored by Delaware Valley Outdoors. And we're going to have experts like Kevin and Steve and John and other guys. And we're asking them to go around and give us their input as to something that is really interesting that they find unique. And we're going to give that person an award as the Best of Show. All right. We'll see you later.